Excellent!
Welcome everyone to part 2 of my HTPC build series, where I will be assembling my system, asking some existential questions, and using the power of short lists to prove that I am right. So here it is, I'm finally constructing my HTPC that has been planned and assembled outside the box, and tested with great success thus far. It's good to be finally building in the Fractal Node 804 case, but some of the weirder things about this build got me thinking, and as a result, today I'll be using my new HTPC as an example as I ask the question, what makes an HTPC? And is it a HTPC or an HTPC? I have no idea. Anyway, well, I can safely say that all these parts make my HTPC, so here's why I chose them, starting with the case that I just mentioned, the Node 804. The clean design and black brushed front bezel will blend in great with the home theater. It has optical drive support, which was important to me. I grabbed a slim slot-loading Blu-ray player for that. I will say I was hesitant about the side window on the 804, more on that later though. The motherboard is the Asus Maximus 5 Gen, the CPU is the Intel Core i5-3570K, and we also have 8GB of Corsair DDR3 1600 memory. These are all parts from an existing system that I wasn't using anymore, and I think this is very common for HTPCs, to take a slightly out-of-date system and repurpose it for use in the living room. This is also a significant boost in processing power for me, which I like because part of this build's purpose is to improve gaming performance. Speaking of which, my video card, at least for the purposes of this video, is the EVGA GTX 970SC. This is overkill, but I want a fast, quiet card that can handle 1080p games, and this will easily do all of that. The power supply is a Fractal Integra M 750 watt, again a very quiet part that does its job without problems. I like that it's modular, and I'm only going to be using maybe 50% of its capacity, which means I'll be sitting right at the sweet spot of the 80 plus bronze efficiency curve. My storage array is my boldest choice, I think, a Plextor 256GB mSATA SSD for the operating system, combined with 4 WD-RED 4TB hard drives in RAID 5. This gives me 11 terabytes of usable capacity for DVR use, movie and music storage, and oh so many games, and you better believe this will be a steadily growing beast of a media server as well. RAID 5 means I can get some very nice read speeds, and I'll still be able to save my array if a single drive fails, although my write speeds are low right now, which makes me want to do a little bit more tweaking and testing. I also have a Ceton Infinity TV tuner card with cable card support and 4 HD tuners, allowing me to watch and record cable TV shows, and this was also a carryover from my old decommissioned HTPC. Finally, we have peripherals, most notably my wireless keyboard with built-in mouse from IOGear, the classic Windows Media Center remote and IR receiver, and my new wireless Xbox 360 for PC controller with the awesome receiver that it comes with that can connect up to 4 controllers, and I've confirmed it already works with my existing Xbox 360 wireless controller. Pretty sweet. So now it's time for those lists I was promising. Let's start with 3 things that do not make an HTPC in my humble opinion, starting with the TV tuner card. Really? Yes, the TV tuner card, because there's a big movement towards cutting out cable companies entirely due to their outdated business model and shady business practices at times. You can easily get all the entertainment you need with just an internet connection, so I consider this a nice to have rather than a requirement, even though I am using one on my system. Next up is bling. That's right. No need for fancy paint jobs or LED embellishments with an HTPC. They should be stealthy and quiet like a dead cat, because even the faintest glow can ruin the mood while you're watching your stories. The third thing is my WD-RED RAID 5 array. What? Oh my gosh, yes, really, it's overkill. It's almost completely unnecessary here, but I still think it's awesome. Really, all you need is a single large hard drive for a DVR or an HTPC, but do at least make sure that it's a drive like these WD-REDs that are made for 24/7 continuous operation, or the drive you choose probably won't last as long as you hope. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the second list. What about 3 things that do make an HTPC? Well, first, there's location. Location. Yes, it's in the living room, of course, how obvious, a home theater PC in a home theater. Well, this actually does bring into consideration things like case aesthetics, because you want the system to blend in. Noise is also a factor in the living room, where headphones are less of an option, so you want the system to be silent. And of course, for connectivity, you'll want to be able to connect to your stereo receiver or HD TV, preferably using HDMI at minimum. 4K adapters, well, that's another video. The second thing that does make a computer an HTPC is interaction. Human interface devices simply need to be rethought in the living room. Mostly they need to be wireless. An RF mouse and keyboard are key. Wireless game controllers for sure are incredibly convenient, and a good old-fashioned remote control makes the experience a pleasant one. Finally, our third thing is flexibility. How delightfully vague. What do I mean? Well, the flexibility to use hand-me-down parts from old systems is nice, and HTPCs typically don't need the same amount of power as a desktop. Flexibility to handle multiple tasks, a DVR for cable, a portal for Netflix or Amazon Instant Video, YouTube, standard web browsing, pretty much any game ever via Steam, Origin, Uplay, good old games, emulators, the list goes on as long as it's not marked as a console exclusive pretty much. And yes, this is also what makes PCs in general great, but I needed a third reason, and I think it's a damn good one. So let me know if you think my lists were accurate, let me know what you think of my new HTPC, and let me know if you run an HTPC at home right now in the comments below. Oh yes, there will also be a part 3, I have decided, but a little bit later on, after I've spent a little bit more time with the new system. I'll be upgrading from the stock CPU heatsink fan, I'll be giving some more feedback on my experience, and maybe trying to fix my RAID array's performance, because I think it can get better. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.